If you enjoy our podcast, please like and subscribe and consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Albuquerque Journal to help us bring you more content like this. You can find this episode and all of our podcasts on the Albuquerque Journal website, abqjournal.com, as well as YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. See the show notes for a discount code on a digital subscription. Thank you for supporting the Albuquerque Journal, New Mexico's leading news.
Hey everyone, welcome to the latest edition of the Business Outlook podcast. I'm your host, Journal Business Editor Matthew Narvaiz. I want to start off by thanking our show sponsor, Central New Mexico Community College. On the show today, we have Steph Sherrodd, President and CEO of Sunward Federal Credit Union. We talk about Sunward's rebrand from Sandia Laboratory Federal Credit Union, the recent acquisition of Utah-based Mountain America Credit Union's local branches, and what the future holds for Sunward. Hope you enjoyed the show.
CNM is truly one college with infinite possibilities in tech and data sciences. CNM offers programs where everyone can learn about software, apps, or how to build websites. You can also choose from AI programs and machine learning, the Internet of Things, and so much more. CNM, one college, infinite possibilities, and a proud sponsor of the Albuquerque Journal's Business Outlook.
Steph, thanks for joining the show. So we're going to talk a little bit about Sunward's rebrand from Sandia Laboratory Federal Credit Union. I just want to start off by asking, what motivated the decision to rebrand from Sandia to Sunward? And was there a specific moment or insight that, sort of sparked this change?
Yeah. Well, thanks, Matthew. I'm really excited to be here. Our rebrand really started with our strategy and what we thought we wanted to provide our members and the communities that we are in for the future. So it really started many years before we actually got to the new name and the new logo. It started with creating a 10-year vision of what we wanted the organization to be. And as proud as we are of our past and our legacy, really saying, okay, we think the future is going to be different. And once we set that strategy, then we had to say, okay, let's do some research here. Is this name a headwind, a tailwind, or really no wind when it comes to enabling this strategy? And the research was pretty clear that in order for us to enable the type of experiences we want and serve the communities that we're in more broadly, that looking at a new name was going to be critical to that success.
How did that name come about, Sunward?
Yeah. It's really tied to our commitment to the Southwest. Our strategy is rooted in being an economic engine for communities in the Southwest, helping the Southwest be successful and the communities that we're in. And, nothing is more Southwest than that feeling of the sun, right, that we get, wide open skies. And it also is tied to the sense of moving forward, progress, momentum. And so combining that sense of sun and forward is how we came to Sunward.
And that's sort of emblematic in the logo as well, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the sun and forward together are what make up our logo.
So I know rebranding can be a significant shift for long-standing institutions. I'm curious how your members and the broader community here in Albuquerque have responded to this transformation.
Yeah. The feelings and sentiment has been overwhelmingly positive. It's a change, and certainly we recognize 75 years of history. We don't want to lose that legacy as well, and the attachment to our core sponsor group, which is Sandia National Labs. We're still the dedicated credit union for Sandia National Labs. We went about creating a very special product and reward set only for our Sandia National Labs employees and retirees that continue to be members. It's called Quantum, really connected to their future in quantum computing, and making sure we're honoring them while also welcoming new members, new communities to the organization.
And I guess I just want to clear this up. So, folks from outside of the labs are able to become members here at Sunward.
Yes, and they have been for about 20 years. But that wasn't really widely known in the community. And that's one of those headwinds of the name that was, great it was so exclusive, but also limiting our ability to serve the greater communities that we're in.
So not only was there a rebrand, but, you guys recently completed an acquisition of some local branches of Utah-based Mountain America Credit Union. Talk to me a bit about that acquisition and sort of how it aligns with the credit union's broader strategy for growth here in New Mexico and in the Southwest.
Yeah. Well, it really speaks to our commitment to Albuquerque and New Mexico as a growth opportunity for us and wanting to sort of double down on what we have available, right? We gained a couple of new locations. Those are convenient locations for our members, sort of our legacy members. We've seen the former Mountain America members use a lot of our other locations, so it's added convenience for them. And we also got some great employees. We hired all of their employees, 16 of them, and we're excited about having that talent here locally to serve all of Sunward members.
But you're also expanding, Sunward's reach outside of New Mexico and California, where I know you guys have one branch. Your team announced earlier this month that, it's gearing up for a location in Colorado, Durango to be specific. When is this branch expected to open, and what was the reasoning for expanding into Colorado?
Yeah, so we're planning to open in May. So really excited about that. We have 2 locations in Farmington. So, we had already expanded into northern New Mexico and are, proudly serving that Four Corners region. Durango, very close geographically to Farmington. So we get some efficiency by, growing sort of market to market like that. And we also see Durango as a great opportunity, thriving, growing community. Its community-based sort of ethos really aligns with, Sunward and our focus on community as well. So it made a lot of sense for us to grow into that market.
Let's talk about Albuquerque. So, have you guys opened branches in recent years in the city? And, are there going to be additional branches that you're opening up? I believe we've talked about this in the past, and I'm curious to know if that's still a thing that's happening.
Yes. So in 2024, we opened a branch at Rio Grande and say like I-40, sort of serving that North Valley area. We do have plans for other locations. We're not publicly making announcements, but there's some interesting areas, say like in the South Valley, in West Albuquerque. Those may or may not be places that we're really interested in and we'll be looking at moving forward. And in addition, like I mentioned, we did get a new location, especially near golf course, which is a new area for us as a result of the acquisition, which gives us some more. But we're definitely investing in the Albuquerque area as well.
Something I'm always interested in, especially because I'm always on my phone, and I know a lot of others are too, is technological advancements. So, I wanted to know, as far as Sunward is concerned, what sort of digital tools is the credit union investing in, or have they invested in recent months?
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Technology, a huge, important part of our strategy, not only from a service perspective, but also from a perspective of convenience and attracting new members as well. So it's something we've been incredibly focused on, both in terms of our infrastructure and new technology as well. We've done things recently like create a new tool to open accounts online that's less than 10 minutes. Which it should be, right? It should be really fast and easy from a technology perspective. So we continue to look for how can we make it super efficient for our members, and how do we use that technology then in our branch locations to make sure it only takes you 10 minutes if you come in as well. We really look to combine both of kind of the great things of both of those experiences to make it easy for our members.
How would you characterize, everything that's happened in the last couple of years, the new branch in the North Valley, the rebrand, the acquisition, the potential for more locations here soon? How would you sort of sum that up? Seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's really an organizational refounding is what we refer to it. That the credit union was founded 76 years ago as, Sandia Labs Federal Credit Union. We have refounded the organization as Sunward. We have a big vision for the future, really focused on our members making improvements for their financial life, making it easier for them, and also creating growth and success for all of us, for our many stakeholders, which is our members, our employees, and the communities that we all live and work in. And so, when all those things happen together, then that's really what defines success for us. And there's a lot to be excited about here in the Southwest, in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, and we're thrilled to be a part of it.
Yeah. As far as the rebrand is concerned, I had noticed that you guys are getting signage up. So here in the Journal Center, I'd seen the signage, and then up on, I believe it's Wantabo and Candelaria signage is up as well. Have we gotten signage up at all of the branches?
Yes, we do have signage up at all of our locations. Maybe a few signs that are still being replaced, but either permanently or temporarily, we have signage. We have signage everywhere. We've turned the credit union purple.
Yeah. So I know you had talked about a 10-year growth plan for Sunward here. But looking ahead, what are some of Sunward's primary goals over the next few years? And are you trying to make this thing the largest credit union here in New Mexico?
Growth in and of itself isn't what sort of gets us out of bed in the morning. We really look to how are we making improvements to put the control of finances back in the consumer, right? This is a time where people can feel unsettled about their finances. We can help. And that's very rewarding for us, putting our products and services, connecting those to each and every member, individuals in our community, creating systems and tools that make banking with Sunward easier. That kind of goes back to our tagline of banking made better. And really listening and continuing to evolve. Those are the things that get us excited. So it's not about, any particular size or goal. It's really about what are we doing that is around redefining the cooperative spirit. That's our purpose.
Steph, that's all I have for you. Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you, Matthew. Excited to be here.